I need to stop doing this. So I have this issue where I tend to leave my library books until like right before I have to return them. I'm gonna fix that because yikes. Anyway, it is currently, it's actually Wednesday, April 8th, because I'm pre-filming this intro. But I have to go to the library at April 14th, which is Tuesday. So over the weekend, I'm gonna try and finish my library haul. Especially because so far this year, I'm at 100% completion rate. Not counting this month, obviously, because otherwise I wouldn't have to make a video. So I want to keep that juju going, so we're doing that. But anyway, this is everything I got from the library this month, and this is everything I still have yet to read, so it's almost all of them. I've only read Throne of Secrets, which was a book I had also put on hold, so like thank god I read that. But I do have 4 other books that I'm still very excited to read, but I just haven't gotten around to yet, and now is already time to go back to the library. And what do? A video like this, obviously. I also just think it's more fun this way, so let's do that. And after I read 6 books in 6 days, remember that vlog? My previous library book? My library books vlog? I feel unstoppable, so let's hope I'll actually be able to get this done. But anyway, let me show you the books that I have. I'm gonna start with these 2 books because they're part of a series, actually book 2 and 3 in the series. So if I read both of these, I'll finish the series, which is great. But we have A Season for Scandal by Laura Wood and A Game of Scandal by Laura Wood. These are YA, like historical romance mysteries. And the first one I gave 3 stars, but I did think was quite fun, and I wanted to continue on with the rest of the series, considering each book follows a different mystery, different couple. So very excited to read these. Then if you watched my last library vlog, you know I read my first Freida McFadden, The Boyfriend, and despite not thinking it was like a super good read, I had such a fun time with it. And then last month I also read The Tenant by Freida McFadden. Was not a fan of that one, but I of course did fall for it again and did get another Freida McFadden from the library, and that's The Wife Upstairs. And then lastly we have The Wake Up Call by Beth. This is just an author that I really enjoy, and it's one of her books that I have not read yet. I do know I lent this out like 2 years ago, I think, and I started it and then for some reason put it down, and I really want to get back to it and actually finish it now. But yeah, these are the 4 books I will be trying to read this weekend. None of them are chunker, so I'm hoping that we'll get it done. And yeah, I'll take you along for the ride. I don't know which one I'm gonna start with. I think it's probably this one, so I can kind of like, you know, take breaks and I don't have to read these back to back. I can have little times in between, but I don't know, we'll see. Hi, so it's Friday. It's like 4:30, so I'm so sorry for the late update, but we have officially started the vlog and I have been reading today. I've been reading A Season for Scandal by Laura Wood. I'm about halfway through. I don't know how to feel about this book yet. In this book in particular, we follow Marigold, who at the start of this book, her fiance breaks up with her, which is a big deal because her fiance's dad is the owner of the building that her family's like flower shop is in. And now that she's been done, that the whole situation is in peril, so she ends up getting the help from the aviary, who is kind of like the overarching group throughout the series, which is a group of women who have made it their job to kind of like protect other women in ways that the law during this time period can't or like isn't. So they kind of are a little bit of like a detective-y spy agency kind of vibe, and they end up helping Marigold keep her flower shop, but then also at the same time they're like, hey, you could actually be great for our ranks, so they end up recruiting her. And then we skip forward half a year later where she has gone training to be able to work with them and stuff, and they get brought in, like she and like her specific team get brought on to a case involving Oliver Lockhart, who is someone who has helped the aviary out a couple of times in the past, and now he kind of needs their help, as when he was younger his mom and sister died, or at least he presumed his sister at least he presumed so, but now he's kind of learned that his sister's fate is actually very up in the air. And then in true circumstances, that whole situation has kind of become public knowledge, which has put a lot of people coming towards him because they think they can have like, if they pretend to be the sister, they have financial gain from it or something. And the main reason he is asking help of the aviary now, because even though he's been dealing with it for like a little bit, is because currently there is this specific family that claims that their daughter is his sister and that they rescued her. But there's a lot of things that make him doubt that case, but also a lot of things that's like, okay, but only my sister would know about that. So it's a little bit like murky water, so he wants the help of the aviary to figure this whole situation out, you know? And as a part of this whole deal, Marigold is kind of tasked to pretend to be Oliver's fiance in a attempt to kind of like get closer, you know, be able to infiltrate his household, I guess, and get closer to the people that are claiming to be like to the people that are claiming to be like his sister and like her caregivers, and figure out what's going on. But like obviously it will look very suspicious, just like a random girl comes to that. So another prospect of like, hey, you're gonna be my future family looks a little bit less suspect. And yeah, I am halfway through this book, as I said, and almost nothing has happened so far. I feel like where we have just gotten there, just was like gone to Oliver's house, just had like a first interaction with these people. So the investigation is just now starting, but also there's only been like 3 very small interactions between Oliver and Marigold. So even romance-wise, this hasn't really gotten started yet. And I don't know. How would you feel about it? Because I'm not disliking this book. I'm having a decent enough time, and I feel like, why does it take this long to get to the point of the book? You know what I mean? And I feel like we spend a lot of time focusing on things that probably aren't going to matter. I had the same problem with the first book as well, where I felt like it felt very dragged out. And this is starting to go the same way, and I kind of have a feeling just because of how either we're not getting a whole lot of plot, or like the plot is actually going to be really rushed in the second half, because you know it appears that there's quite a lot to do, but we're already halfway through the book, you know what I mean? So I don't really know how that's all gonna go, but like I like Marigold as a character. I can see that. I think she's a really fun main character. She's very passionate about flowers, and like her knowledge around that, and like the language of flowers I think is really interesting. And also just like the pride she had. Like the flower shop has been in her family for a couple of generations now, but she is the one in recent years who has really made a lot of improvements to it, and has made and is like the cause for a lot of current state of the shop, and like the status of the shop is a lot because of her and the pride she has in that. I love, and then I love her family as well. Like they very much celebrate her in that sense, even which is very uncommon during this time period. But I really like that element to it, how it's just so close knit and just a very fun bunch, each with their own personalities, but each also so very encouraging of each other. I love that. So in that sense, maybe I like to focus on it a little bit in the first half, because I feel like in the second half we're barely gonna get any of Marigold's family because we're removed from them right now. But I like an element to it, and I have to say that the very minor interactions Oliver and Marigold have had are interesting, and there is a dynamic there that I'm catching on to, that I'm excited to see unfold more into a romance. I don't know how far I'll get today, because after dinner we're going to like my family's hangout, because we had 2 birthdays in the family this week, so I'm gonna celebrate that. So I don't know how much more reading I'll be getting done today, but we'll see. Hi, it's Saturday evening. I'm so bad at updating this vlog, I apologize. But last evening, so Friday evening, I had a good time with my family. But today, I've been just so drained of energy. Like, God, it's been... I don't know what it is, but I feel so rough. And I genuinely have no clue what it is. So, it's been rough going, and I'm exhausted, and it's not even 8 p.m. Look at that. But I did finish a season for Scandal today, and I'm giving this 3 stars. Unfortunately, I do think the series would make very fun movies, so somebody get on that. But I definitely like the second half more than the first half. I think the plot kind of went up a bit more. Definitely was like a flair for drama. I like the characters. I think Oliver and Marigold are cute together, but it isn't a romance movie. Like there is nothing romantic between them ever in this book until the moment where they say I love you to each other. It's like, okay, but where did we get how did we get here? And I feel like that just could have been developed a bit more. But yeah, I don't really like the way Oliver was written, because I fear you're supposed to come off as kind of like a grump to his sunshine, to her sunshine, but that's not how he came across. Like he was actually like a very like good person throughout most of this book, until like at some random scenes where he was just like an asshole. So I wasn't a fan of that either. But I feel like just it was a good time to read, so it's still a 3. And I feel like when you balance out the things I liked and disliked about it, I feel like you get a 3. Hi, it's Sunday morning. I've been reading all morning. It's actually not morning. It's a couple of minutes before noon, but I've been reading all morning. And a game of Scandal. Yes, I was gonna space these books out. No, I did not do that. I apologize. But this is just the one that I was in the mood for the most. And I regret every second of it, let me tell you, because I am not having a good time with this. But in this book, we follow Felicity, who is obsessed with maths, is also very like good at it, and she wants to go to college to study maths. But her family, so her brother and her mom, are against that. So she decides to start gambling to make the money to go to college because she thinks if she has the money herself, her family wouldn't be against it anymore. Which is stupid, but oh well. And she thinks like she'd be great at gambling because you know card games are basically maths. You can count cards. It's very easy. It's still done to this day. And she goes gambling in the Lucky Penny because that's a place where women can go and gamble, masked, but they can go. So that's easy. But after like a few games, she is called to the owner, who is Ash, because he suspects her of cheating. And it becomes very clear that she isn't, so she's counting cards, which nowadays is considered cheating in a lot of places, by the way. But technically she isn't cheating. He kind of ends up connecting her with the aviaries. You know who they are. I told you about them in the last book, because they are after a guy that they suspect is behind a lot of different crimes, including murders. So dangerous guy. But this guy is doing a lot of gambling as well, and Ash is on his trail because he thinks that this guy is very much a cheater, like an actual cheater, not just counting cards, even though that's also considered cheating nowadays in a lot of places. Again. But besides the point. So they kind of involve her, not necessarily as like a full member of the aviary, but at least someone who knows gambling and can hold her own in like a gambling setting and like win, because they are trying to keep this guy from like winning a lot of money to do more nefarious things. As I said for the book, the romance is between her and Ash, obviously, and I'm not liking this book. To be fair, the only reason I am reading this still is because I am intrigued by the mystery. I think that's very interesting. I feel like the guy that they're investigating is an interesting character and very much not what he seems, and I am having fun kind of like with that part of the storyline. But everything with the romance is dog shit. Like, I hate our main character so much. Like, the reason I say that she was good at math and not that she's intelligent is because she's not. She's so stupid. Oh my god, it's insane. And the amount of times she's like, oh, in her monologue is like, oh, look at this connection I made. It's like, yeah, no shit, Captain Obvious. Like, it's the most obvious thing to have ever been. And she is like pretending that it's like the most intelligent discovery everyone has ever made. Like, technically she is very smart when it comes to maths, but when it comes to everything else, stupid in the brain. I don't like saying this, but goddamn, I don't think I have read this stupid of a main character in so long. And I hate that she's supposed to be intelligent, because go where? Just being able to do maths doesn't make you the most intelligent person of the time. I apologize. Jesus, I was having a rough time with that. But it also just like doesn't help, because I can excuse the stupid main character, as annoying as it is, especially in a book that also has a mystery as a focus. I can excuse that. But the fact that she's like so like self-obsessed and is constantly kind of thinking that she's better than because she's smarter than, I hate it here. I hate it so much. And oh god, it's just, she's just so annoying. I don't like her. And then when I say when I don't like the romance either, is because I feel like Ash feels like a fantasy very much. Like, if it wasn't a character that already appeared in the other books, you could convince me that she is like hallucinating him, because like none of their scenes together make sense. But he like always appears out of nowhere, and then just like they have a scene where like they almost kiss, and then he's gone out of nowhere. It's just like, what's going on? And he's like exactly her type, you know what I mean? And you know what? Romance is wish fulfillment, but damn, this is on another level. And just like all of the other books, it is like very underdeveloped in my opinion. So that also doesn't help. But I'm having a really rough time with this book, and I really wish I wasn't. So it is later in the day, but I did finish A Game for Scandal by Laura Wood, and to maybe nobody's surprise, this was a 1 star. I really didn't like this book, and I feel like the more I kept reading, the more it went off the rails for me. I just feel like all logic is just thrown out for this book, because this is something I also forgot to tell you. The brother that is keeping her from going to college and just wants her to marry off to like a rich guy instead is the love interest from the first book. That makes 0 sense. Like, And honestly, even if you take out like the context of like how we know these characters to be in this book, even like her brother and her mother as well are very supportive of everything that she is pursuing, and like the only reason that they're kind of like encouraging her to go into the marriage mart is to have more kind of like security behind her. It's not even that they want to marry her off to like the richest bidder. They just genuinely want her to find someone that shares her passions and has like the same interest and like will just provide more safety considering the time period, you know, it's just more safer for a woman to be married. But like they're fully like encouraging of like her going after her maths passions and stuff. So it makes zero sense that these same characters that are like super supportive of her also just won't allow her to go to college. It is so weird to me. It was such a disconnect between that part of the story, which was like the major driving force of the story, and like actually how these characters behaved. And let's, like I said, not even including the context of how we know this guy to be from the first book. Like, what do you mean he is very supportive of his wife being a secret spy slash detective, but he has issues with his sister wanting to be a mathematician? I would argue one is more problematic than the other. So I don't know, that just made zero sense. But yeah, all of my gripes already had with this book that I talked about earlier definitely still stand. The romance is just barely a part of this book, and I just was not a big fan of it. And then even the mystery, which I was interested in, just kind of as it continued, just sucked. Like the bad guy is like very much a cartoon villain, if that makes sense. It's not fun to read. Towards the ending, things get way too convoluted. It's like we didn't need to do this, and our main character doesn't even really play an active part in the mystery. Things just kind of happen around her. So I also wasn't a fan of that by the end either, and I just really disliked this book. Hi, it's Monday evening, and I regret to inform you to have not updated you. I apologize, but I did finish the Wake Up Call by Beth O'Leary. It's just that the entire time reading this book, I was like, I'll update when I have thoughts, and I never really had thoughts. And now I'm done with it, and I didn't like it. But in this one, we follow Izzy and Lucas, who work together at this hotel that used to be like really popular, really successful, but ever since the pandemic has kind of been struggling. And at the start of this book, we are in like the winter season in the lead up to Christmas. Like the ground floor ceiling drops, so it's like the first floor, um, the first floor's like floor, and the ceiling of the second floor. That makes sense. Of the second floor, of the ground floor. So that drops, and that puts things in a much worse situation because obviously there's a lot of costs with that being repaired, but also now they only have 5 functioning rooms, so the income, and they can, in the winter times they also make a lot of money from weddings, and that's not possible either. So the incomes for this winter wouldn't be as big as they thought, and they have to let go of a bunch of people, what makes it that Izzy and Lucas actually have to work together much more often, and they don't like each other, so that's an important deal. And then also, well, you know, it's their romance, but also we kind of have a subplot of trying to save the hotel by selling lost and found items. But in the lost and found items, there's also a like small collection of wings that were found at a hotel at certain points, and the only information that they have on them is the date which they were found. And Izzy is determined to find these wings, the rightful owners, because she thinks most of them are engagement and like wedding rings. So she thinks like most people would want those back. So that's also kind of like a subplot thread as well. And I give this 2 stars, which is so sad. This is my least favorite Beth O'Leary. Sadly enough, it is not the only one that I've given 2 stars. I also didn't really like the No Show, but I feel like I had a more fun time with that one and this one. I just was bored with quite a lot of this. I feel like not a whole lot happens. And then I also just like wasn't a fan of the romance, which is sad because I do think that this is the Beth O'Leary that is the most straightforward romance. I think I said in the intro that the books are typically a bit more contemporary fiction leaning than fully like romance. At least the ones that I've read, because I am missing 2, which is The Road Trip and Swept Away. But from the ones I've read, this one seems to be the most straightforward romance, and I don't like the romance in it. For the very sole reason that I feel like with Lucas, the feelings just kind of felt like the flip of a switch, where throughout like most of this book, he was annoyed by like quite literally everything that Izzy was and does. And then at a certain point, he's like, oh shit, I have feelings for her out of nowhere. And after that, like, none of that annoys him anymore. And I'm like, what are we doing? It wasn't like a gradual, like, oh, I might have feelings. It's just like that. I'm obsessed and I'm in love. And she does nothing wrong, which that was really annoying. But then for Izzy, I just never really felt the feelings. She was sexually attracted to him, sure, but like that's it. So that also just didn't really feel earned, I guess, in a sense. So it wasn't the biggest fan of the relationship development. I thought the third eye conflict was really stupid. Like really, really stupid. Made me consider even disliking it more, but I'm not gonna. 1 star is a little bit too cool for this book. But yeah, I also just didn't think that besides Roma there was much going on. Like that subplot of finding the wings is like very much like a subplot. It's not like finding the wings owners. It's just such minimal part of the book, and like same with kind of like the saving of the hotel and everything. It feels like such a minimal subplot. I just kind of wanted a little bit more of it because I did really like that element to it, and I think it had some good moments, and I just feel like it would have worked better if we just spent more time with it. Also, I always typically love books set in a hotel because I love kind of like the people that come with it, you know, the regulars, the families that are staying at the hotel, the people working at the hotel, stuff like that. And I feel like I really like those characters as well in this book, and again I wanted more from them because I feel like we got so little of it. So yeah, I don't know, this was a 2 star. For the most part it was a 3, but it just, I don't know, I feel like I disliked it more than I liked it, so I feel like it's definitely more 2. If it makes sense. I feel like I just said a lot of negative things and not a whole lot of positive, so it makes sense for the rating, you know. But this is probably the biggest disappointment from this video. Oh, even though I only have another book left, even though even though I gave a book a 1 star, it's just, I don't know. I always feel like I at least have fun with my Believer books, and I really did it with this one. And it just makes it like such a letdown. But yeah, it is like 9 p.m. right now on Monday evening. What's my hair doing as well? Anyway, so that means I have until like tomorrow afternoon to go to the library and read one more book. So wish me luck. It just passed 11 and I have 2 pieces of news. First one is actually the important one. It's The Wife Upstairs. I'm at page 200. It's by Freida McFadden. In case you didn't know, I purposely left this book last because I previously have read Freida McFadden books extremely quickly, so I thought this would be a good thing if I was in a time crunch, and this proves it because I only had 2 hours and I read 200 pages. I don't know how I did that either. And bad news, again, I'm not having a good time. I feel so cursed because the last reading vlog that I did was that I missed out on these popular 2025 releases vlog, and I had such bad luck in that video as well. And then this one has all been dots as well, so I hate my life. But in this book, actually a very simple setup. We follow Sylvia, who becomes a nurse for this woman who was in an accident. And she doesn't become a nurse for her, that's one, but it's more kind of like a companion while the woman's husband is working. And that's kind of like the basic setup of this book. There really isn't that much more to it. But throughout the book, we also get these excerpts from this woman Victoria's diary from when she first met her husband, and that's honestly where this book is completely losing me, because before that I feel like there definitely were some parts where I was like, okay, this is just like slightly misogynistic, as in it's very misogynistic, but it's like in that very casual way, like the way they imply Victoria is like completely useless and that she can't have children anymore. That's, you know, not great. But now that the diary gets introduced like relatively early, but to the point we are at in diary, it's this book is pissing me off so much because Adam is such a red flag. Like, oh my god, he, at this point where I'm at, you could call him very easily abusive. Like, that's not even like a borderline abusive, that's, he's fully there. And the way Sylvia will just, in like her chapters, go like, having read these things in the diary that we have as well, just going like, oh, but he's like such a dreamboat still, like he's the perfect guy. Like, yes, he has some flaws because nobody's perfect, but he's like the perfect guy. Are we reading the same diary? Are you sure about that? Because I, like, every woman who comes across this guy just completely fawning over him, obsessed, and it's just like, and Oh, main character Sylvia is also just like so stupid. The amount of times that Victoria is trying to make something clear to her and she just brush it off like it's nothing. It's like, girl, if someone who can barely speak is putting this much effort in telling you something, listen, it's not that difficult. So yeah, this is frustrating, but it's so this is something about Freida McFadden books that I can't DNF because I'm while I'm reading, I'm just so sucked in, even as I'm hating every second of it. I'm not saying I'm hating every second of it, but I come close. Anyway, second piece of news, much more fun. Well, not more fun, but like for me, maybe. I don't know. But if you don't know, Calgary Regionals concerts are still going on. They just, today when I'm filming this, finished their shows in the Netherlands. They also just today announced that their final show, because lately they've just been announcing, like, not lately, but like over the one of the shows, they have been like semi-consistently announcing new dates, but people constantly wondering when the last one's gonna be. And they've always said like, oh, as long as people keep buying tickets, we'll keep doing shows, as long as there's also still capacity at the like concert hall they're performing at. And now they officially announced it's gonna be the last one on the June 7th, which that weekend just happens to be perfect timing for me and my mom to go again, because we've both kind of been wanting to go again. We went like first weekend, October 5th, I believe. There's a video for that up on my channel if you want to watch it. I had a good time. And we were already looking at June 6th, because there's also a show that was announced on June 6th a little while ago, and we were already looking at that because that weekend was perfect. We were like, if maybe one gets added on the Sunday, because June 6th is a Saturday, that would be even better schedule wise. And now not only did they announce a show for the Sunday, June 7th, but also it's the final one. So tomorrow ticket sale for that begins. So let's pray to the Ticketmaster gods that I'll be able to get tickets. I mean, originally I got them like relatively easily compared to other people, so I really hope I have the same amount of luck this time around. Good news, I got tickets! It was sold out so quickly, so much quicker than I even thought it would. Calgary Originals, hi, look at me wearing my merch that I bought at the show and I haven't worn since, because we went to the show while it was already like winter, so I haven't had the chance to wear a t-shirt, but look at me now. Anyway, ticket sale, a disaster, so quick. I think it was sold out in like 15 minutes, but we did it. I'm so excited. I'm so unbelievably excited, and thank fuck for that, because I hated this book. I really didn't like it. I have finished it now. We are going to the library in like 2 hours, so I have time left over yet, but I just wasn't a fan of this. I give this 1 star. I'm sorry, but the reveals in this just pissed me off so much that I wanted to throw this across the room. Like I hated this so much, and I can't even probably tell you why, because spoilers, but fuck this book. And everything it has to say about abuse, like fuck them hard. I really don't like this. So yeah, I think I did like rant as much as I possibly could in my previous update without spoiling anything. Like anything else that I can say to you about this book and why I disliked it would be so spoiler filled, so I apologize, but don't pick this up. I regret it very, very deeply. That brings us to the end of this vlog. I read all 4 books and I didn't like any one of them. This one was a 3, so technically the best of the evening, I guess, of the video. Then we have a 2 and 2 1 stars, which is the most depressing part out of all of this. How do I have 2 1 stars in one video? That should be illegal. I'd rather have 2 DNFs than 2 1 stars. I don't even want to calculate the average rating of this video because I'll be so depressed, and especially, like I said, after the last video, which also didn't go well, but at least I had a 4 in that. There was like one beacon of hope in it. This one was just all down the rails, so I genuinely, I feel cursed. But hey, I guess it must not be, because I got Calgary Originals for the last show ticket, so then give me all the bad books you want. But that's everything for this vlog. I'm sorry it was such a bit of a letdown, but hopefully next time I see you, things will be much more positive. So see you then. Bye.